next guest plays one of the great characters on television, the charming Chechen mobster known as NoHo Hank on Barry.
Hank, the cops are outside. They want to speak to you.
Well, we always knew this was going to happen. This one is for all the marbles.
You have your story straight?
Yeah, this is my first interrogation, you know? I'm, like, legit nervous.
All right. If we don't hear from you in 2 hours, we will all take cyanide pills.
What? Ciao, babies.
The long-awaited third season of Barry premieres April 24th on HBO. Say hello to Anthony Carrigan. Myself, but I hope that Barry does what Breaking Bad did and gives NoHo Hank his own series after the show is over.
I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. You know, following Bob Odenkirk's footsteps would be pretty sweet. You know? I don't know about like an hour of just Hank though. That seems like a lot.
Fine with me. I would take it. How did Alec Berg and Bill Hader created the show? Bill, of course, is the star of the show. Is that what they had in mind, what you do on the show? Was that in the description of the character?
So initially what they based the character on was actually, like, you know those geniuses at an Apple bar?
Yeah.
Like someone who is just very, like, attentive, just want to make sure that, like, everything is fixed and, like, you know, no complaints. And I don't know, when I read the role, I just saw it as kind of, I don't know. I just saw him as this really bright and sunny and cheery kind of guy who just happens to be the head of a Chechen crime mob.
Right.
Just so happens, you know?
And then once you get the part of, do you do a ride-along with the Chechen mob, or how do you...
No, I have not encountered any Chechen mobsters just yet, thankfully.
I assume there are Chechen mobsters.
There definitely are. You should YouTube it.
Yeah, oh, there are, okay.
Yeah, or don't, because it's absolutely terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is a tough mob.
Yeah, big time.
This is not
big
like
time.
the Canadian mob.
No.
No offense, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you playing this character. Do you do anything to get, like, in the mind frame of...
I mean, yeah, I definitely like to, you know, I like to listen to a lot of music. You know, I'll definitely listen to, you know, like Huey Lewis and the News. You know, a lot of Huey Lewis and the News.
Hold on a second.
Or as Hank
That's
would call
how I
them.
prepare for this show.
Listen, you and me both, man. You know, Hank would call them, you know, Huey Lewis and the Newsies. You know, it's like great band. You know, even better movie. You know.
That's really interesting that is the artist that you chose to listen to. It's maybe the last one I would imagine.
Well,
Hank was
it's just
listening.
really kind of upbeat and like, you know, from the 80s. I mean, I watched a lot of like 80s action movies to kind of like, because I could see Hank just like as a kid watching like these 16 VHS tapes that he has of like, you know, Lionheart and like Bloodsport and just like watching and just learning English that way, being like, that is what I want to do in America. You know?
Okay, so you watch these movies, and now I assume you get recognized all the time.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do people ask you to do the lines and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, they definitely do. I get a lot of like, you know, hey man, you know,
right.
Or like, you know, 50-50 with Cristobal. And sometimes it's just from random windows in the street where I just have no idea who's saying it. So I was out at dinner with my friends. We were out having a great time, and you know, out of the corner of my eye, I see this guy who's just he's giving me those eyes. You know, he recognizes me, and I do that thing where I make eye contact with him, and from that point on, it's like a tractor beam. You know, because it's gonna happen. He's like gonna stand up, and say something to me. So he stands up, and I can tell at that point that he's had a couple to drink. So he like saunters over to me, kind of drunkenly, and he's just like, I want to thank you so much, you know, and I'm like, no, please, thank you, it means so much. And he's like, no, I have to tell you, Amazon got me through this pandemic.
Wow.
And like, And I was thinking, like, Barry's on HBO. Maybe he just thinks. And I was like, well, I'm Anthony, and he just had this puzzled, disappointed look on his face, and he just walks out of the restaurant.
Wow.
And I turned to my friends, and I was like, he thought I was Jeff Bezos, didn't he? And they were like,
The only thing weirder than thinking you're Jeff Bezos is thanking Jeff Bezos,
I know. He was just building up his courage to shoot his shot, with Jeff. Yeah. But I guess I was like the drunk man's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Like after a couple of martinis, like I'm the one who's like taking Blue Origin into space,
I happen to know, a little bird told me that you mentioned me in the second episode.
I know nothing about this. I know nothing about it.
I'm very excited of this. I've done a lot of things in my life. For whatever reason, I am extra tickled that, to be a little tiny part of that.
It's pretty great. It's a pretty great moment.
Well, thank you very much, and it's great to have you here.
Yeah, great
The show,
to be
if you haven't seen it, it's called Barry. It's great. Premieres April 24th on HBO and HBO Max. Anthony Carrigan, everybody. Thanks, Anthony. I'll be back with Stromae. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is The Internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.